Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here. And that didn't take long at all, did it, guys? The auction has barely wrapped up its first round of lots, and we already have accusations of scamming and miscommunications and false advertising, this, that, and the other from the player base. So for those of you that don't know, the auction went live in update 10.4. It's the first time it's ever been introduced into the game. Apparently it's very similar to something in World of Tanks called the Black Market. I've never really played a lot of World of Tanks, so I don't know what that is, but apparently it works about the same. The way the auction works is that it's a blind and silent auction, meaning that it's not like an auction you probably see on TVs and movies where they're all gathered around together. There's some guy speaking at 20,000 miles an hour and people are actively bidding on prices. That's not how it works. Here you get a starting price, you get an end date, that's it. You put in your maximum bid, you don't get to see anybody else's bid, and when the end date rolls around, you either win or you don't win, and that's the end of it. And there is a certain number of winners for each lot. And that's where the bit of confusion and accusations of scamming come into play here. So the first three lots was the first one, and probably the most attractive to just about everybody, was 100,000 coal with a starting bid of 25 million credits. And there are 5,000 winners. The second lot was a British commander by the name of Adrian Griffiths. He is a 14-point commander. He comes with 20 expendable camouflages too, and he started at 9,000 doubloons, a little bit steep there for my taste. And then we have the Thunderer commemorative flag, so just a cosmetic flag, coming in at 1,500 doubloons with 2,500 winners. And Adrian was going to have 1,000 winners, if I forgot to mention that. So, sounds pretty straightforward. There's 5,000 winners for the coal, 1,000 for the commander, and 2,500 for the Thunderer flag. The issue is, and I didn't really even think about this when I was going through the patch notes and the dev blog, is, are these winners per server, or are they overall? Well, at the moment of recording this video, and I'll take a screenshot of it right here, at the bottom of the auction section, there is a line of text that says the number of winners and starting bid amounts are the same for the CIS servers, the EU servers, the NA servers, and the Asia servers. Okay. I read that and I thought, alright, it's the same everywhere. Meaning that there's 5,000 winners on the European server, there's 5,000 winners on the North American server, so forth and so on. Apparently, what that means is that that's 5,000 winners for the combined servers. Meaning that there's only going to be 5,000 winners out of the total active World of Warships player base. Yeah, so that apparently wasn't clarified except on the Russian forums. No announcements were made. Wasn't mentioned in any live stream or video or the patch day video or anything like that. It was just said just like that. And that's where people are having problems. Because many people, assuming that it was just going to be on their respective servers, didn't bid apparently what was needed. So supposedly the winning bids were in the 80 million to 100 million credit range, which that's a lot of credits. But 100,000 coal, that's a lot of coal. That's just a little bit under half of a tier 9 coal ship. If you have, well, actually it's under half if you have the coupon available. And again, depending upon the ship and all that. So, yeah. And here's the thing. Many people are saying this is a scam. This is misleading. This is false advertising. Well, I would say you could probably have a pretty good case there for that, but you're talking to somebody who, for his hobby, a lot of times is reading off of the World of Warships dev blog, which is translated straight from Russian to English. And let me tell you, this isn't the first time that they've been a little screwy with the translations, because whoever does the translations for Wargaming from Russian to English, it's freaking rough. Just go watch the last 3 dev blog videos. Like, I get tongue-tied sometimes because I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm a teacher. I work for 8 hours, and it's a very draining 8 hours. I come back here, sometimes I mispronounce things, and it sounds like I'm drunk sometimes, but it's just exhaustion. All teachers sound like that about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But there's many times where I'll be reading from the dev blog, and I have to reread something 2 or 3 times because the translation is that rough. And that carries over to the patch notes, too. And I've noticed this, again, on the patch notes videos. You guys can go watch and check out those, too. The translation is very, 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 very screwy sometimes. I don't know if they just don't hire someone to restructure it correctly. I don't know if they're just running it through Google Translate. I don't know, but this is a common thing. If this is the first time this has happened and they said, oh, it's just we didn't translate it correctly, I'd say, yeah, that's a little screwy. But something else, too, also kind of just dismisses a lot, in my mind at least, a lot of these claims. The way this works is that, okay, let's say I put down 70 million credits. Those credits are reduced from your account, and at the end of the auction, if you don't win, those credits are returned to you. So nobody lost anything on the coal. If you didn't win, it went back to your account. You didn't lose anything. Now, if these were doubloons, and let's say you had to go and buy like 10,000 doubloons, let's say it was a 10,000 doubloons starting price for the coal, and you went by, let's say, 10,000 or heck 20,000 doubloons, like $100 worth of doubloons. You put that on the coal, you didn't bid high enough, you get your doubloons back, but hold up. You've had to pay for those doubloons, and you probably won't be able to get your money back. That would be a pretty darn big issue. So Adrian Griffiths right there, that might be where you need to make your argument at, not the coal. I mean, I don't know how many people actually went out for Griffiths because everyone's just talking about the coal right now, but that's more of an issue because good luck getting your money back for those doubloons. But the credits, I mean, you can grind those out in game. And if you only have like 50 million credits and you put 25 or all 50 million of your credits on the coal, I'm sorry, but you may want to focus on getting your account up a little bit more in terms of credits than throwing all of your credits at the coal. But even then, you can go into battle with 0 credits and still participate in the game. You'll just have a really long repair time afterwards if you don't make your credit amount back. But anyway, that's my thing. Nobody lost anything on the coal at least. Now, if it's the same for Griffiths and the Thunderer flag, I mean, I don't know how many people actually went out and put 1,500 dubs down on a flag, and you didn't win, and you can't get your doubloons back, obviously. I mean, well, you can get your doubloons back, but you can't turn in your doubloons back for cash. That's a much bigger issue in my mind, at least. So even in English too, it's not like this sentence is, and that's where I can see how some people would say it's very shadily worded, because it kind of is. Because in English, the number of winners and starting bid amounts are the same for the CIS, EU, NA, and Asia World Warship servers. There's 2 very obvious translations there that if you're just reading this and not really thinking about it, I can totally see how you can say, yep, it's for all servers, or yep, it's for each individual server. I can totally see that, but again, it's not the first time that it's happened. Unless they hire somebody to actually do a proper English translation every time, it's going to keep happening. So, yeah, that's my take on this. I don't think it was intentional. I do think it was just a poor translation. Because again, I've seen this time and time again in the developer blogs, in the patch notes, and even on the articles on the website. It's just Russian being pretty much straight translated to English through like Google Translate or some other program, or somebody that's not a native English speaker, at least, in my mind at least. And I'm not a CC, I'm not supported by Wargaming, I get nothing from them, so I'm not just trying to defend Wargaming out of nowhere. This isn't really a big issue in my mind. But we now know, at least, that from, I'm assuming here on out, and I would, if I was one of you guys that you bid on the coal, you didn't get the coal, I would assume from here on out it's going to be the same way across the future lots unless they specifically say otherwise. Now, it does make sense too from Wargaming's perspective, because 5,000 winners for coal, when I read over that originally, I was like, man, that's really generous. Thinking about it on the per server basis, because per server, 5,000 winners. If you get on World of Warships, unless you're on the weekend or on a holiday, there's maybe 10,000 people on. So that's half of the active player base right there. But, I mean, 5,000 across the whole regions, yeah, that makes a lot more sense from an auction standpoint. And another thing is, too, is that people, when this originally came out, people were assuming that they were trying to clean up a bit of the excess credits lying around, because obviously if you have a lot of credits lying around, you don't really need to play the game as much to fund your play. So they thought, oh, they're putting all this coal, that way people will, throw their credits at it, that way they'll get rid of the credits, and then people have to play the game more to fund their play. I mean, yeah, you could go with that, but then them going and say, no, we're only giving it to 5,000 winners across all the servers, you're not really cleaning up that many credits at that point. If you did the 5,000 per server, good lord, they would take a whole lot more credits in. So, and that, in my mind, that kind of throws that out of the window too. So, yeah, again, that's what I think about this, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you guys think it's just a bad translation? Do you guys think they were intentionally being deceptive, and if so, why? Because I really don't see it in this situation with the coal, at least. But again, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Thursday. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. We're on our way now to 30,000 subs. We just passed 26,200 a few days ago, and I cannot thank you guys enough for that. Again, guys, hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.